Hi guys, Anastasia is back, and today in this part of my video blog we are going to talk how you can master your CV in order to be more competitive during the match. So you probably know about US clinical experience, but it can be very challenging for foreign medical graduates. And it's more beneficial, this information is more beneficial for foreign medical graduates. And I will tell you the differences between the research position, observership, or volunteering position, and hands-on clinical rotation, which you can obtain in the US. Let's talk about the research position. This is one of the best positions that you might obtain in the US. And usually it's 1 year, sometimes several years of research project. It's hard to get this position, but once you get it, it's really good because you can get some publications in the end of the research project. So you're going to be linked to a professor or attending physician who is going to give you a project that he's currently involved in. And then you're going to follow some basically steps of the project and complete it and then get a publication. So there are two types of research positions, one of which is a clinical research and the other one is the basic science research. So during your clinical research, you're going to be asked to do some survey among the patients.
Anyway, why don't you tell me how you poisoned yourself?
I can't.
Why not?
Because you're not my doctor.
To collect data about the patient, then do a lot of statistics and stuff. So this is kind of an office work, I would say. But then the basic science research position is different. It's all about the lab. So you will learn a lot about how to grow cell cultures, how to do blotting, how to cut the specimens, how to stain them. And you are going to have very good idea about how the basic science works. And you can get very good publications from that. The publications are not required, but it's highly, highly desirable for very competitive specialties. What is a hands-on clinical rotation? That's probably the best experience that you can get in the US. And that basically means that you can participate in the patient care with other medical students and residents as well. And this is the same experience that American medical students get during their clinical rotations. You can talk to the patient, you can do some physical exam, you can do some medical procedures, and that will show in your CV that you're actually very familiar with the clinical setting in the US hospital. And you can get very good recommendation letters from this experience as well. Unfortunately, these positions are not free. You have to pay for them in most of the places, and sometimes they're very expensive. So if you're willing to pay for that, that's probably the best position you can get. What is observership? That's a different clinical experience, but still very valuable. And the only thing you can do, basically just follow the clinicians or medical residents and observe what they do.
Now and last 48 hours, your interns, grunts, nobodies, bottom of the surgical food chain. You run labs, write orders, work every second night until you drop, and don't complain.
But still, you're inside the hospital and you're on wards and you can see how clinical practice is structured. But you cannot talk to the patients, you cannot review their lab tests or images and other stuff. But you can get very good letters of recommendation if you prove to attending physicians that you're very willing to pursue the career that you're applying to. A volunteering position is, I would say, the least valuable among those that we already discussed. But still, don't get disappointed if you get this position, because yes, you are going to work in the office and you're going to deal with the paperwork that was supposed to be done by the program coordinators or the research coordinators. But yet, if you're in the hospital, you have always a chance to prove to other people that you are very willing to be in medicine in the US. Now, you're watching me and thinking, okay, fine, but what am I supposed to do? How am I going to find this experience? I'm sitting here on the couch at home with having no connections at all, and how am I going to find those people who are going to provide me this experience?
So, Mr. Cooper, you're looking for a job.
A menial job. Like yours.
Well, there is no uniform recipe that I can share with you and say, look, do this and that and you're going to get it. No, unfortunately, there is none. But what you can do, if you have a friend, let's say a medical resident, or someone who works in research in a lab, or even a physician working in a clinical medicine, ask them to ask in the hospital about the announcements, because sometimes the labs, they announce about open positions in research, for instance, and this is the way how you can get there. If you have no friends or family members in the hospital, you can just go online and find the web pages of the hospitals that you are willing to go, and find the head of those departments or program directors and email them. Work hard on your CV. Make sure it looks very good, and attach with every single email your CV saying, look, I really want to be in your department. I've done this and that. I'm a very dedicated person. Please take me. And you may send thousands of emails, but one will work probably. So really work hard and you're going to get it. Now you're in the hospital. You got your position in research or observership or a clinical rotation. Fine. But you have to make sure that you create a very strong connection with at least one physician over there. Don't try to run around trying to be helpful to other people. Don't do that. Remember why you got there, to get a letter of recommendation. So after you get the position and then closer to the date that you are supposed to finish, around 1 week before you finish, approach a physician that you've been working with closely and politely ask for a letter. And there is nothing wrong there. Sometimes physicians even don't know why you're there. I mean, maybe you are traveling around and like to see the practice in other countries. They don't know. So ask politely, please, could you write for me a letter of recommendation? So there are two types of those letters. One of which, when you waive your right to see the letter, and it basically means that you have never seen the letter. You have no idea what kind of personal characteristics are listed there. You can ask for such a letter from a person whom you really trust. Otherwise, you may not waive your right to see the letter, and then you will basically review that letter, which is considered to be less valuable, but either way, it's a letter. So make sure that after you complete this clinical experience, get at least one letter of recommendation. I do appreciate you guys are watching me. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my video blog on Parceed, and next time we're going to talk about the competitive specialties and how you can increase your chances to get matched into those specialties. Guys, thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe to my video blog on Parceed